It's Thursday, January 26, 2023. And I haven't been updating much this week because there's really not much to update. I've been spending most of my time in the shop working on my mystery project that I haven't mentioned. I'll link it when it's done. And you don't see the link because it's not done. Hopefully that won't take more than another week to finish and then put together the video. So it's kind of midday, beginning of the afternoon. I had an association meeting this morning. I have a different association meeting this evening. So it's a day full of meetings and I can't get too involved in wood shop, which I won't be, because I need to spend some time preparing orders and preparing honey and containers, etc., for going into Winnipeg to the packer again tomorrow. And so that's really all that's happening here today. Just dragged something out that I haven't seen in a long time, and I'll show you this. I've been using my router for a few parts of this project that I'm doing, and I want to show you this little gadget that I made some time ago. I'm a big advocate of routers for doing so many different things in the shop for you. And one of the things that really comes in handy is when you need a router table. Now the base isn't on this router, but usually you put a bit in the router and then you route around whatever you're going to do. But sometimes you want to take the work to the piece, to the tool, and this is that. And this is a very basic router table. I've got this base plate. It's an auxiliary base plate that I put on the router base. Made it fit fairly snugly. It's not completely motionless in there. That's not usually a problem. And then I just scalloped out some handholds here to wedge my router in here, and then my router base, or my router motor, just fits in the base. I have to open it up. Fits in the base thusly. I find it easier to put the bits in the router while the motor's out. So I just take that out. And by the next thing I need to do on my little build that I'm doing is I need to route a particular profile. I love these bits I get from Lee Valley. Very high quality. Oh boy. Very high quality, very, very sharp. Half-inch, you get a half-inch and quarter-inch shaft. That's a quarter-inch collet, so I can't put that in there. A little bit of a problem because this bit is bigger than the hole in the base plate. So that means I need to put the router motor in the base. Push it pretty well all the way up. And then put my router bit in there. Here's a tip on router bits. You can see this shaft is straight up until the painted part, and they're not always painted like this, so you can't go by the paint. And then there's a radius, it comes out like that onto the bit part. And so what you need to do is you need to make sure you don't push that radius into the collet. You have to locate these by eye. That one actually bottoms out because there's nothing that tells you when to stop. Now, getting this tight is a little bit of a challenge. In my basic router table I've made. I just clamped this to my workbench over the vise. If I wanted for anything, I would just build a box under this. Who knows? I might do that. Just build a box so that it sits on the workbench. Maybe sits up a little higher to make running my pieces easier. Now, don't let this deceive you. I have run many feet of moldings and trim and whatnot through this, and it works great. So I can bring that bit right down to there before it contacts that base plate. So I have a basic fence here that I can just clamp on there, and that gives me really good stability for my pieces. So this fence opening is not quite as big as that router bit, so that means I'll need to start the router and clamp one end and bring that in here, cut that out a bit. So I'm not going to do that now. I just want to show you that. That's kind of it's interesting, I find, because it's such a cheap and easy thing. It's basically a piece of plywood with a couple of those scallop pieces on the bottom that's just got a hole cut in it. It's Monday, January 30, 2023. I can't believe it's almost February, and I haven't got much of my production work done yet. I've given myself until about the 1st of February to get on that. There's another project I'm doing right now, which you'll see the videos coming out soon, to finish up before I get into production work. My wife has been making progress here on her frame building station. She's got a nice stack of frames finished. She's got a nice stack of frames to go. And you know, that's really all that's happening. It's a really good time to work in the shop because it's minus 32 C outside. I can hear the wind howling. It's not really that windy, so I'm surprised I can hear it. But it's whistling through the soffits. Typical fashion. It was cloudy and fairly warm. It was very nice for a couple of weeks, and then the clouds went away. We got a little bit of snow. One of those is called an Alberta Clipper came by. Got about 4 inches of snow here. And then the sky cleared off, got really sunny. You could see the beautiful bright sun blaring through the window, and super cold. So it's one of those weird times of year. You put your hand or your face in the sunlight coming through the window, and it's hot. It's almost uncomfortably hot. The cats in the house, they find a little piece of sunlight coming through the window on the kitchen floor, and they just stand there and enjoy that heat. But you go outside and it's a different story. It's very cold. Fortunately, it hasn't really been terribly windy, so if I need to go out in the cold for short stints, it's not that bad. I can even walk from here to the bee barn in my t-shirt if I need to, but I don't want to be out very long. So not a lot to report. We had a restful weekend. I've been up really late the last number of nights, so I'm getting really tired. So I have to stop that and get back to a normal schedule. So I need to do my project here, and you'll be seeing a video. The installment 1 of this video quite likely will be out this week before you even see this vlog entry. So you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And if that is out, I'm gonna link it here, I think, either here or here, one of the other places. So that's it for today. So thanks for watching. Take care and have fun. It's Wednesday, February the 1, 2023. January's behind us. I'm very happy to be able to report that. January can be a very, very cold and inhospitable month. The weather can be wild, but March is known as the month that can have the most wild weather around here. So the more days we put between us and winter solstice, the better. February coming up, it can go either way. Sometimes it can be warm, and sometimes it can be bitterly cold as well. Right now, it's starting out bitterly cold, I think it was minus 35 last night or something like that. I think it's in the midnight minus 20s right now, but we're not forecast to get much of a warm up for quite a number of days still. That's okay. I'm working in the wood shop. I don't have to work outside very often in this weather, and I'm thankful for that. So I'm working on my little project here today, and I'm starting to publish those videos so you can see those online now if you're so interested. They're rather long, and I decided to include most of the content just to show you kind of the process. It's a very long and drawn out process instead of just skipping things over. So I hope you do enjoy them. I'm trying to keep them down to 60 minutes or less. So that's that's what those videos are. So they're a bit of a commitment. Yesterday, Tuesday the 31st of January, was my first ophthalmologist appointment since my cataract surgery on the 21st of December. And I'm pleased to report that the doctor's pleased. I expressed to him how pleased I am with my new vision, and he didn't have any further concerns and passed my care back over to my optometrist. I'll see him in May, just as another follow-up 3 months down the road. So that's how that's going. It's going very well. I don't have a lot of side effects kind of thing. There are a couple, but nothing major. There is a little tiny bump on my eye where he did the incision. He said that's not a problem as long as it doesn't bother me. It doesn't really bother me. I find I'm using eye drops just to keep my eye hydrated, and honestly, I'll often put eye drops in both eyes just because it's very soothing to use eye drops. He did say that's a normal after effect of cataract surgery. I hope that's not too long lived. Some of the eye drops can be rather expensive, and it's uncomfortable if you don't happen to have eye drops with you. You have to plan ahead, take some with you if you go out, that sort of thing. So anyway, I'm not complaining, just filling in on the reality of what's going on, and I'm very thankful for my new vision. He put up the the letters where you do the eye test, and he put up the first slide, and I looked at him and I said, "Get serious," because it was about this big, and so I blew through that, and I blew through the next one, and I blew through the next one, and the next one, and got right down to and then he was wrapping up, and I said, "You got anything smaller?" Because that's not a problem. My vision was tested at 20/20. 3-4 weeks ago, which was only 2 weeks post-surgery, and I think it's improved since then. I'm certain it's improved since then. So I'm very, very thankful for that. I've never in my life had clear, uncorrected vision, and it's very nice. You wake up in the morning and you can just see. That's great. You roll over in bed, you could actually see the clock, whereas before that was a struggle. So that's all to report for today. Sorry, the vlogs haven't been very exciting, but hopefully some of the standalone videos will be interesting to you. And so go on over to those videos and enjoy. I hope you enjoy them. So thanks for watching. I'll check in again tomorrow. Take care and have fun.